Hi everyone and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about how therapists can choose a niche without feeling boxed in. So if you are a therapist in private practice and the word niche makes you feel slightly uncomfortable, then I completely understand you, because for a lot of you, niche positioning can sound too commercial, too rigid, or too reductive. It can feel as if you are being asked to squeeze complex human work into a marketing label. And if you care deeply about ethics, nuance, and meeting people as individuals, that can feel as something wrong. But here is the truth about choosing a niche. Choosing a niche doesn't have to mean boxing yourself in. It doesn't have to mean becoming fake, using manipulative marketing language, and it doesn't have to mean saying you only help one kind of client forever. What it really means is becoming clearer. So it means making it easier for the right people to recognize themselves in your work. Because one of the biggest mistakes therapists make is trying to sound open to everyone. So you might say things like, I work with a wide range of issues, I support adults with many different challenges, I offer a safe, non-judgmental space for healing and growth. And while none of that is wrong, then it is often too broad to help someone actually choose you. So the problem is not that you are not a good therapist, but the problem is that your message is too general, too basic to create recognition among your potential clients. And when people cannot quickly understand who you help and what they might come to you for, then they often keep searching for someone else. So niche is not really about limiting your clinical work. It is about improving public clarity. That is really a very different thing. So you can still be a thoughtful, relational, and flexible therapist, and you are just simply learning how to describe your work more clearly in public so the right people, the potential client, can find you. So a good niche helps a potential client think, yes, this therapist understands people like me, people who are in the same situations as I am right now. So this is really what we want. So not pressure, not hype, but just recognition among your potential clients. So how do you choose a niche without feeling boxed in? So I think that they are three very good places to start. So the first one is, who do you work especially well with? So not just who have you worked with, but who do you understand especially well? And that is really important to understand your niche. So just ask yourself and ask that question, who do you understand especially well? So maybe you work well with anxious, high-functioning women. Maybe you work well with men who struggle to open up emotionally. Maybe you work well with adults dealing with burnout, grief, relationship patterns, or low self-worth. So you are not saying these are the only people you can help. You are saying these are the people whose inner world you can describe with more clarity and confidence as well, and that matters. So the second question is, what problems do you explain most clearly? And this is very useful clue. So sometimes your niche is not only about the type of client, sometimes it is about the kind of struggle you are especially good at putting into words. And very often the niche that works best is the one you can communicate most clearly and calmly as well. So if you can explain a specific problem in a way that makes people feel seen, then that is often a sign you are moving in the right direction. The third question is, what kind of work do you want to become known for? So, not in a performative way, but in a professional identity way. When someone lands on your website or your directory profile, what would you like them to understand about your work? So, what would feel aligned, true, and sustainable through time for you? Because your niche should not only help you get found, it should also help you build the kind of caseload you actually want for your whole career. So that part is also very important. A niche is not just a visibility decision, it is also a practice design decision. It is part of crafting the best system to have a sustainable private practice in the long run. So if you choose a niche that doesn't fit your energy, your values, your interest, or the kind of work you want more of, it may look good on paper but feel heavy in your real life. So please don't choose a niche because it sounds profitable. Really choose the one that feels clear, honest, and workable for a long time. This is really important. And one more thing about it, your niche doesn't need to be extreme. It doesn't need to be ultra narrow. So you don't need to say, I only help handed women aged from 34 to 36 with childhood perfectionism. That is not the goal. So a strong niche is often simply specific enough to create recognition, as I said. For example, I help anxious adults who look fine on the outside but feel overwhelmed underneath. Or I work with people who struggle with self-worth. Or for example, I work with uh, women who are entrepreneurs and struggle with self-worth, people pleasing, and emotionally one-sided relationships. So it's just it's really important to be specific, but not that specific. But for example, you can help people who are in relationships and who have problems in their relationships. You can help teenagers, for example, teenagers who are anxious, depressed. So it's important to choose a group of people. So because if you have a vague message like you want to help everyone, in the end, if you want to help everyone, well, no one will recognize themselves in your words. So it's really important to have a niche. So if you have been resisting niche positioning, then I want to leave you with this. So you don't need to become more salesy or to become less human. You don't need to force yourself into a box. You just need enough clarity for that the right people can recognize your work and choose you with more confidence and trust as well. So that is what good niche positioning does. It helps the right clients find you. It helps your message feel stronger. It helps your practice grow in a way that still feels like you. And it helps your message to be recognized by your potential clients. So if it was a helpful video, then subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want, you can also comment below with the niche that you are considering, and I may make more videos on how to turn that niche into a clear website or directory wording, for example. So see you in the next video.